Hey everybody, and by everybody I mean mostly whoever used to subscribe to me like, gosh, it's probably been almost 10 years at this point, and just forgot that they were still subscribed to me and now my video just randomly popped in your feed after ages, as well as probably people I share with this on Facebook. But this is mostly for the first group. So I haven't posted a video in a very long time. I posted a retrospective on when I used to do videos. Even that's been like 3 or 4 years ago. And well, things have changed in interesting ways, and I thought it was interesting, be an interesting thing to update you guys because I'm actually getting back to being more involved in libertarian-y stuff, as you can probably tell by the shirt with the little swoosh. What's on this side? Swoosh. And the spiffy gold-colored hat. Also, I have a beard, like a much bigger beard now. Yeah, that has nothing to do with anything libertarian related. It's just there it is. It's a beard. And yeah, so now I am actually an officer in the Libertarian Party of Bexar County. I am the secretary, Bexar County, Texas, which is now where I live. That's also new. I'm no longer in Southern California. I have escaped that particular communist hellhole, which is good. And I've been getting more actively involved in the party. I've been getting involved in the Mark Tippetts campaign for governor, which is actually having its campaign kickoff today in Austin, at the Capitol in Austin. But I mean, like the actual Capitol place, not just the city itself. And yeah, I just wanted to explain why, to some degree, why I'm doing this and to make people aware that I am getting more involved. So um, I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to get comments on this, but I don't know that I would consider myself an anarchist at this point. Um, I'm now more in the camp of let's get to the point where um, that's actually an option on the table, and then we can have that conversation. Like when we actually have a small state and we can actually kind of have less of a distance between where we are now and the complete lack of a state and be able to better assess whether that would work. Because I've come to kind of think of anarcho-capitalism as being a bit, I don't know if utopian is the right word, but in terms of like these overarching social systems where people start from first principles and then say A, therefore B, therefore C, therefore D. So if we just put these institutions in place, then everything will just work out great. Those very rarely work out great because it turns out the world and people are much more complicated than any of us understand. So I'm skeptical that having absolutely no state would work out that well. I'm also skeptical that it wouldn't just result in there being a state, um, because I think the sort of the logical structure of anarcho-capitalism, at least as I've seen it presented by, say, Rothbard, for example, I think there are probably a lot of errors in there, a lot of flimsy logic that could result in some very bad things if it were actually implemented. But also it could be great. So I haven't thrown that out as a possibility completely. But I was inspired by the Gary Johnson campaign. I know a lot of people don't like Gary Johnson. I don't like Will Weld. I don't like that he's going to be running for president in 2020. Probably going to try to be a delegate to the national convention, and so I can not vote for him as the candidate. But Gary Johnson, I have no major issues with. Minor issue in terms of how he presented himself, but he seems like such a genuine person that actually wanted to make the country more free. And I think those are the kinds of candidates we need. So he was actually the first presidential candidate I ever voted for. I voted for the first time in 2016 specifically to vote for Gary Johnson. I will be voting in this upcoming election, mostly to vote for state level candidates in Texas, like Mark Tippetts, who is our governor nominee. And yeah, I feel like I'm rambling a little bit. I should have probably planned this video out a little bit better. I'm more just kind of going through the bullet points. So, all right, so here's the summary, and then I'll probably end this video. The summary is, now I live in Texas. I'm involved in the Libertarian Party of Texas, and specifically of Bexar County, where I am the secretary. I'm involved in the Mark Tippetts campaign for governor. I am not necessarily an anarchist, but not a committed non-anarchist either. And I see more value in the political process than I used to. I could probably do a whole video on that. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. If you're interested in either of those things, I would recommend you check out lptexas.org as well as lpbexar.org, Bexar spelled B-E-X-A-R, as well as mark4, like the number 4, gov.com, which I've done. I was hesitant to say that I've done work on that website because mainly I don't want people. I've already had people hit me up, be like, "Hey, can you help me with my website?" And the answer is no, just upfront. No, I cannot help you with your website. I'm not a web designer. I'm not even really a web developer. I'm more of a sysadmin that's been kind of put into some places that he's not super comfortable, but it's getting done. Anyway, that's kind of an update for you. Hopefully you found that interesting, and if you didn't, I apologize for wasting your time.